Hollywood is full of glitz, glamour, and carefully curated images, but sometimes the drama doesn't stay on screen. It spills into boardrooms, contracts, and even into the very documents meant to celebrate a filmmaker's success. Recently, a newly unsealed letter from Blake Lively has sent shockwaves through Tinseltown, raising questions about ego, power, and the thin line between recognition and manipulation. This isn't speculation. This isn't a gossip column. The letter, written by Lively herself to the Producers Guild of America, PGA, reveals a behind-the-scenes story that could reshape her reputation and cast a long shadow over one of her most ambitious projects. Let's unpack it, line by line, revelation by revelation, and see why Hollywood insiders are calling it insanity. The letter that changed the game. At first glance, Lively's letter reads like the diary of someone desperately proving their worth. She opens with urgency, framing her message as both a plea and a declaration. This film and my work in it off camera means more to me than anything I've done in my 20-year career. Her words suggest devotion, dedication, and tireless effort. She claims responsibility for nearly every aspect of production, from pre-production planning to post-production editing, even marketing campaigns. The impression is clear. She was everywhere, doing everything. But here's where the story twists. Not everyone agreed with her assessment. Letters from colleagues, some included in her submission, reportedly were written under pressure, describing an environment where refusal wasn't really an option. Suddenly, what reads like a tribute to hard work becomes a case study in Hollywood power dynamics. Pre-production, the invisible work. According to the letter, Lively's involvement began long before the cameras rolled. She describes herself as overseeing, location scouting, and creative production design, casting hundreds of actors and personally selecting key roles, script revisions and adjustments to enhance character development, negotiating budgets, schedules, and even the film's rating to maximize audience reach. For many, this level of involvement is astonishing, almost unheard of for someone primarily known as an actor. But the question lingers: did she do it to save the film or to elevate her own influence? Industry insiders suggest that while Lively did contribute, her methods may have strained professional relationships, creating tension among the creative team. Production chaos, hero or overreach. During production, Lively claims she handled logistics, HR concerns, and creative collaboration alongside the director. She describes long hours, minimal sleep, and constant oversight. She positions herself as both guardian of the project and the glue holding the team together. But some colleagues reportedly felt cornered. Letters submitted alongside hers, meant to corroborate her claims, contained language suggesting that support for her PGA credit was provided under duress. In other words, she may have coerced cooperation, turning allies into reluctant participants. It's a story of duality. On one hand, an actor showing extraordinary commitment. On the other, a collaborator potentially overstepping boundaries and using influence to secure recognition. Post-production and marketing, the Lively takeover. Her involvement allegedly didn't stop at production. The letter details a meticulous hand in post-production, working daily with editors and the director, pushing creative choices and making decisions on visual storytelling, engaging with marketing teams, approving copy, graphics, and even campaign cadence. Personally connecting with celebrities and influencers to boost promotion. The sheer volume of claims paints a picture of someone running the entire project behind the scenes. It's almost cinematic in itself, the star who refuses to be just a performer, asserting dominance over every frame, every scene, every tweet. Yet insiders argue there's a stark contradiction. While she claims authority over marketing, major studios including Sony traditionally control campaigns. This raises a critical question: was she the driving force or taking credit for decisions made collectively? The ego factor, recognition, or hubris? What makes this letter truly compelling and controversial is its tone. Lively repeatedly frames herself as a trailblazer, a veteran actress demanding justice for women in the industry, a mother fighting to be acknowledged, a professional asserting her rightful credit. While the desire for recognition is understandable, many argue that the letter's persistent self-promotion and implied pressure on colleagues crosses a line. Hollywood thrives on negotiation, diplomacy, and subtle influence. When personal ego overtakes collaboration, the result can be both spectacular and disastrous. The PGA credit controversy. The letter sought a PGA credit, a distinction that signifies legitimate production work. The PGA mark is not just ceremonial, it can open doors to awards consideration and industry clout. Yet, according to insiders, the request came late in the process, putting pressure on colleagues and studio executives. Sony reportedly described the situation as insane, admitting that Blake's push for credit involved unorthodox tactics, including reordering producer listings and compelling letters of support. Here, the story pivots from one of dedication to a cautionary tale about ambition colliding with politics, public backlash, a petition, and a conversation. The fallout hasn't stayed behind closed doors. A Change.org petition advocating for the removal of Lively's PGA credit has garnered nearly 17,000 signatures, reflecting a public increasingly skeptical of celebrity influence in Hollywood. While petitions rarely change official outcomes, the movement demonstrates the growing demand for accountability. Fans and insiders alike are dissecting her actions, weighing the balance between contribution and coercion. Lessons from the letter. What can the industry and audience learn from this saga? Power is a double-edged sword. Recognition requires influence, but wield it too aggressively and it can backfire. Documentation matters. Lively meticulously chronicled her contributions, but in doing so, she may have exposed herself to scrutiny. Ego versus collaboration. Hollywood is a team sport. Even the most talented individual risks alienation if ambition eclipses partnership. Transparency is key. The public will scrutinize letters, contracts, and claims. Anything perceived as coercion can harm reputation. In short, what was meant to secure a badge of honor may have inadvertently sparked a crisis of credibility. The broader implications. This isn't just about one actress. The story highlights larger dynamics in Hollywood, the role of women in production, and the struggle for recognition, the complexity of crediting creative contributions, the tension between personal branding and collaborative filmmaking. It also serves as a cautionary tale for anyone navigating high-stakes industries. The line between advocating for yourself and pressuring others is perilously thin, the fine line between dedication and drama. Blake Lively's letter to the PGA is more than a request for a credit. It's a window into the pressure, ambition, and ego that drive Hollywood. It's a story of extraordinary effort, but also of controversy, coercion, and perception.